Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It is Thursday episode. At the conclusion of the Wednesday episode, I asked the remaining panelists that were here, what do you think the odds are that a trade goes down before our next episode?
Strong.
To which everyone said yes. And lo and behold, we have a few trades to talk about. We still don't have like the big trade. So I was told semi-recently, because I've shared the story before about how in 2008, I was in the Red Sox front office for like a marketing meeting when Manny Ramirez got traded. And it 1000% happened after the 4 p.m. deadline. Like, because I, with my own two eyes, saw Larry Lucchino on the phone saying, we need to get that in writing, John. And it was like 4:15. So like they were 1000% still working on the Manny Ramirez trade after the 4 p.m. deadline. It's 6 p.m. this year. But now they have all these electronic timestamps. So we know that you have to get this shit done by 6 p.m. because they can track it. Back in 2008, you could be like, no, we were on the phone. Yeah, it's done. Like, don't worry about it. Like, now they actually keep track of that stuff. So leading up to the deadline on Tuesday at 6 p.m., there will be trades rolling in up to the last minute. Like, there were some executives that were like, yeah, like we got it done at whatever it was. I think a couple of years ago it was 4. I think they bumped it to 6 in the last couple of years here. But yeah, it's like 3:59 is when we got the deal done.
Isn't it as simple as just keeping a phone line open connected to another organization before that deadline hits? And that way the timestamp says, actually, we were on the phone at 3:45 together. It clearly shows that.
I'm sure there's ways to manipulate it for sure.
Well,
yeah.
I know there's ways to manipulate.
I know there's ways to manipulate it. Yeah, there's definitely some manipulation going on as it pertains to the trade deadline. But we still have 5 days left?
5 days left. Just the fact that any movement is occurring right now and the type of movement, I think everybody kind of was like, is this a false start here? We've got 2 relievers getting swapped. That's exciting. That's fun, I guess. And then it just felt like, all right, we need more. We need more.
Well, we got more in the form of our guy, my hairspiration, Lucas Giolito is going. Can you say going home?
Yes, you can say going home. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'll throw this out there. If things should go even moderately well for Lucas Giolito, you go ahead and book him in an Anaheim jersey next year as well. That's just, I think it was time in Chicago for a lot of different reasons. Now he's at home, closer to Harvard Westlake, and this is going to make sense for Lucas Giolito. It made a ton of sense for the Angels.
Yeah.
Especially when you think about what they had left, what they were willing to part ways with to get what they need. So yeah, I think the Angels are in a decent spot considering what they had to give up, what they got. And
well,
the fact
there's 3 different ways that we can look at this. There's 3 different ways. We can look at it from the White Sox perspective, from what this means for the Angels, and what this means for everyone else. Because if that's the going rate for a rental, that changes the landscape for a lot of different teams. So let's start with what this means for the Chicago White Sox. If you missed it, Jeff Passan, breaking news. The Los Angeles Angels are finalizing a deal to acquire right-hander Lucas Giolito and right-hander reliever Ronaldo Lopez, who, by the way, they've been traded together before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right-hander reliever Ronaldo Lopez from the Chicago White Sox for catcher Edgar Quero and left-hander Kai Bush, 2 prospects, sources tell ESPN. And Edgar Quero was the Angels' top prospect. This kid hit Double-A to start the year at 19 years old. It's his age 20 season, but he hit Double-A as a 19-year-old after hitting .312 with a .965 OPS in Single A last year, and that's in 513 plate appearances. He's got some crazy pop. This year, it hasn't been the same yet. It hasn't translated to Double-A yet, but a .530 slug last year, in single A, and it's a 332 slug this year. But that's the main piece. And then Kai Busch, he's a tall drink of water. He's at 6'6", 240, second rounder a couple of years back. Lefty, who he had some early-ish success throughout his minor league career, but now he's in his age 23 season, which hasn't exactly gone super great this year. But those are two, at least like the White Sox farm system, not super heavy on pitching. So I guess it's a nice little pickup for them. They could use some pitching to replenish their farm system. But I don't know. I would consider this a pretty decent haul for a rental.
Well, and think about where the Angels are coming from as well. With Caro behind the dish, you've got a guy who was conceivably blocking this dude in Logan O'Hoppe. It's just a matter of him getting healthy, right? And Logan is closer to that than he's not playing. And he swung the bat very well. 16 games, 283, hit 4 homers, was slugging over 500, on base over 330. So I think as far as the future is concerned, the Angels had their guy. And whether you consider it dealing from a position of strength or just dealing from a position of we need to make a move, we know we've got a guy locked up for the future that we're excited about or that we can deal with. And if it means saying goodbye to somebody who's who's not quite as far along in their progression, then so be it. And so they make the move.
It seemed. Sorry, Joey, go ahead.
No, I didn't say shit.
Oh, my bad.
The floor is yours.
I was just like, from the White Sox end, to me, it seems it's a disappointing conclusion to the Giolito era. Like, even if you got good value for the prospect, this isn't the way that I think anybody envisioned 2023 going for this White Sox core. We've been down that path before. We don't necessarily need to rehash it, but it is a nice return for them for the fact that it's a rental. I think he's a fantastic fit on the acquiring team, which I'm sure we're going to get to. But, to me, the White Sox end is a lot less exciting than all the other implications of this deal.
It's just disappointing. That's how I would sum up what this means for the White Sox. It's disappointing because it means that you're saying goodbye to a couple guys, however important you feel like they are right now, that were supposed to be really important to the Chicago White Sox run of success. And that just never happened. So I don't know that there's another way to look at this as a White Sox fan other than, well, that sucked.
Yeah. I mean,
damn. Like, there's how else?
I guess the silver lining is that at least in the transaction sending out Giolito, your front office didn't get fleeced. Like,
didn't get snuffed.
Right. Like, yeah. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a Caro expert, but everything I've read about this trade so far and heard about it is that they got good value for several months of Lucas Giolito. So at least they have that part. But what it signals about where they're at as a franchise, I think, is extremely disappointing for White Sox fans. But we also already knew that. We've been talking about Lucas Giolito as a name that was going to get moved for, 2.5 months on this podcast now? So it's certainly not surprising to White Sox fans either.
No, I mean, and my question is, when does Tim Anderson go?
I mean, what do you even get for Tim Anderson at this point? That's
he's literally Tim Anderson, I believe, is slugging 280.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So
you acquire the right to not pay his salary.
Yeah, the big fireworks. I don't know that they're still in the holster because I don't know that you're definitely not trading Luis Robert. You maybe entertain Eloy, but I don't think that they go down that path either. So it's a Tim Anderson. They've already said no on Dylan Cease, I believe. I think Bob Nightingale had that report yesterday that teams that have called on Dylan Cease have been straight up told no. So I mean,
isn't this though? Can we talk about whether or not the White Sox are close to a blow up? You just said goodbye to Giolito and Lopez. You already have been tied to the Rays with Lance Lynn. So If you
Lynn's
take
gone.
Lance Lynn out of that equation,
Yeah.
when you stare at the rotation right now, it's Dylan Cease, Clevenger, who's going to be activated on Saturday, and then Kopech.
I guess it depends what you consider a complete blow up. I mean, they get rid of.
Moncada just came back healthy. See you later.
Yeah.
If Lou Bob's the centerpiece that you can't move, Eloy. Next up, Tim Anderson. Jump in his suitcase.
I'm with Joey. I think it's a definition thing, because like a lot of the guys outside of Giolito now that they're going to cast off of this roster are not very good. Like it just, no disrespect, but like Yasmani Grandal is not a particularly good player at this point. Tim Anderson has been brutal, as we've covered at this point. Like what is Yohan, like if they don't consider Yohan Moncada a part of their core, what is he as a player exactly? So like they may be forced into something of a retooling because so much of their roster is like a pending free agent or guys that are just no longer part of the future. But to me, the more interesting question is like, what are you left with? And if what you're left with is Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, Andrew Vaughn, and Dylan Cease, let's say, what is that? Like,
right. So that's why I say don't you have to consider
Definitely.
what a complete blow up or a complete retooling looks like? You have to consider what that looks like. You have to take phone calls on all of those guys just to see what that looks like.
Yeah,
because there's no way in hell you have to. There's no way in hell that you can say goodbye to a Giolito and a Lopez and then stop there. Like, all right, that was what we needed to do. That will get us in a spot where we can maneuver comfortably next season when it comes to talent acquisition. Like, no, and we all know that. And that's why I think that if you're the White Sox, there has to be a conversation about what else.
But, I mean,
Yeah, it's like-
they got good names on their team, but at 3 years in a row, if you're going to underperform with the same roster, at some point, you got to come to terms. Like, it ain't happening. And you put these players through probably like the worst situation ever. It seems like the worst vibes of all time there. I'm sure most of these guys don't really want to be in the Red Sox. I don't know Giolito. I'm sure he's fine with leaving.
Whoa. He said Red Sox.
No, there's some Red Sox that aren't happy with their situation too, Joe, but the White Sox
That's
are
not
also,
true. That's not true. We're at good vibes. We just fucking swept the Braves.
It doesn't count. 2 games doesn't count.
Yes, it
The
does.
Braves are on vacation right now. The Braves are going to check back in October.
Mhm. Yeah, that didn't work out last year. Now you're making me throw cheap shots against the Braves, and I don't want to do that.
You started it.
Anyways, it's a disappointing run for the Chicago White Sox. I think going back to 2020, just thinking of that playoff series against the Oakland A's, I feel like we were just on the precipice of something great, like feeling like, hey, this is going to be like a run. Like this is going to be one of those teams where they're in it every single year for like a 5-year window. Like we're seeing it. And it wasn't just, I'm not going to sit here and compare them to the Atlanta Braves. It's not the same level of talent. It wasn't the same level of, I guess, financial commitment, but they did have, if not all, a vast majority of their core locked up for a long time. It just didn't work out. And I don't know like what or
They
who
had
to
everything they
blame that
needed
on.
right there.
There's no one singular individual to blame this on. Like if you're like, oh, like we're gonna blame like Rick Hahn for this, or we're gonna blame fucking Tony La Russa for this. Like there's no one individual that you could just be like, you know what, like you fucked up. But it is as a baseball fan, it is disappointing. Like I was excited for that core forming because it's not just about like right now in Cincinnati, you can see it. There's pieces here, there's pieces there. Ellie De La Cruz is the face of that Cincinnati Reds core, but they're not quite there yet, right? Like they've got some pieces, they've got young talent, but they need to supplement that either via trade, free agency. Like they've got to supplement that. Like kind of like when in the Astros in 2016, it's like you could see the Correas and the Altuves and the Bregmans starting to come up. But you didn't have that influx of veteran talent to kind of complete the circle. And for 20, and I know that whatever they cheated, but 2017 they took that step forward after they kind of pieced it all together. Like the Chicago White Sox, they did that. Like they had the young talent. They had the Moncadas and the Kopechs and the Tim Andersons and the Lucas Giolitos of the world. And they started to bring in the veteran talent with the Dallas Keuchels and the Yasmani Grandals. Like they had it. It was almost like you were doing 2 + 2 = 7. It's just you put in the right components, but you just didn't get the right result.
I personally think that there was just a misfire, and there was not the cohesiveness and the connectivity that you would want to see in the clubhouse. Period. I think that was a huge part of why the Chicago White Sox did not gel totally and come together, because they were simply a reliever away in 2020. We talked about that.
Yeah.
We talked about them watching Liam Hendricks do what he did to them, and them looking down in their bullpen and going, well, who do we have to do that? Shit, it doesn't look like we have anybody down there. It was Garrett Crochet out of college throwing 100 miles an hour, and outside of him, it was like, all right, well, okay, we got nothing. So let's go get fucking Liam, and they did.
And Kimbrel.
Still
and Kimbrel at the deadline.
And Kimbrel.
Who shit
still
his
stumbled.
pants. Like, he was outstanding for the Cubs and then shit his pants for the White Sox.
I also feel like once they started adding the veterans, to your point, is right about the time where most of those young players stopped getting any better. Like, with the exception of Luis Robert, and that took really until this season, right? Luis Robert was not particularly good offensively last season. Like, yeah, you added a Lance Lynn, you added Grandal, you added some other pieces, but, you know, Tim Anderson stagnated, started getting worse right around that time, and obviously bottomed out this year. Eloy Jimenez has never put together the sort of season that we have expected. A lot of that has been health. So I'm not going to like knock him hard for that, but like some of it has been performance. Like, it's not like the guy has come out with 950 OPSs in 95 games. Like, he is still an incomplete player. And if he's just kind of a good bat who's a below average, like corner outfielder / DH, then like, what is that player? Andrew Vaughn was, I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but a high first round pick who has not been good in his major league experience so far. Yohan Moncada, some of that was health related during the COVID season for sure. We don't need to get into that, but he, for various reasons, he has not stopped developing into the star that many, many people thought he was when he was part of the Chris Sale trade. Like, the names that really didn't get Michael Kopech on the pitching side, like, these were all supposed to be tentpole core players to this young movement to go along with these veterans, and by and large, they just didn't get better and or got worse. I don't know why. There are probably individual reasons for all of them, but like Cease and Robert are the only guys who have like made it through this period and are actually the high level players that people envisioned.
Michael Kopech to me has been the most disappointing. It's not surprising, I'll say that, but he's been the most disappointing for me. He leads the league in walks this year. A 4.44 ERA. It's like, that's not like, wow, what a disaster. But for what the potential was,
well, I mean, that dude hit the big leagues with a lot of shit on his plate, did he not? Like, he was going through some shit away from the field as well.
Bro is fucking 22 going through a divorce. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, there were like makeup concerns with him when he was here. And then, you know, he gets traded to Chicago and it's like a smaller market, but that shit just followed him. Like, he was kind of like dick in the dirt, head somewhere else. And I don't know, like, I don't know anything about him now, but I know that like there were some of that like maturity issues when he was here for sure.
Yeah. So I think we can all agree that the White Sox, even in an effort to try to get better, still bring up a a disappointing vibe when you look at the whole thing. That's why I said for the Angels, moving on from the guys that they moved on from, knowing what they have coming, felt like this was one of the better moves that they could have made in addressing what they need, giving up what it was going to take to get them. I don't know that we'll see. I don't know, because it's not a fleecing by any chance.
No.
And they are in a position to have the moves they made make an impact for them. I don't know. It was 4 games out when I was on the airplane at fucking 12:30 last night or this morning or whatever. What are they out of the wild card? 4.5, no more than 5, right?
Yeah, because
They're 4
I think
games. 4 games out.
it's an even 4.
Yeah. So again, we don't need to get into the whole fucking, what does this mean for the franchise long term and value
Hang on. Because I want to do a whole separate discussion just about the Angels side of this before we move on from the White Sox. Trade deadline is on Tuesday. Who, if anyone, is going? Like, would you envision being moved from that White Sox core? Who is getting moved from that White Sox core before Tuesday? Does Tim Anderson go? Because I feel like if you're the White Sox, you're selling low on the guy. It's like,
yeah, but he's a free agent after the year. Or I'm sorry, that's not true. That's not true. They have a team option on him for an amount like $14 million that I think is a foregone conclusion that they are going to decline. So
yeah,
if that's the conclusion that you've reached, then
$14 million club option, $1 million buyout.
Yeah. So if that's where I'm not saying that it's correct or not, but it probably is. But if you've reached the conclusion that you're not going to pick up that option, then this is just an opportunity to save a couple of $1 million and or get some like non-prospect in return. I think this would be roster management. I don't think this is going to be like we're getting a prospect for Tim Anderson.
Yeah.
Well,
So
and
you
why
think
does
he's
it
gone?
have to necessarily be the core?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, is there no interest in what they've got down there in the bullpen?
Oh, yeah. Joe Kelly's gone.
That's, Joe Kelly?
Yep. Dodgers
See you
are
later?
interested. Yep. Red Sox are interested.
Lance Lynn.
Kendall Graveman?
Lance Lynn's gone.
Kendall Graveman?
Graveman.
Santos?
Gone. Anyone's on the table. They're all gone. It's going to be phone call, bzz, bzz, bzz. White Sox. What are they going to do?
Yeah, I could see the South Side getting raided.
Yeah.
I do think to Jared's question though, I think the real reckoning comes this offseason though, because I don't think as we've classified the core, I don't think any of those people are going other than TA and Giolito. So like the real interesting questions for this team that we just talked about, like Dallas said, is a real teardown coming? Like those decisions I think are going to be made in the offseason. What's the future of Moncada? What are we doing with Andrew Vaughn? What sort of player is he? Et cetera, et cetera. Because in my estimation, there are only really 2 players on this entire roster that if you put them on the trade market are bringing back game-changing returns for your franchise. It's Luis Robert and Dylan Cease. So
Yeah.
Yes.
everybody else is just kind of like, are we saving money? Are we getting like a mid-level prospect? Like that sort of conversation.
Well, what do they got? They got they got Moncada for 24 next year. They've got Eloy at 13 next year. Lou Bob making 12.5. And then from there, that's what the core looks like. That's what the core dollars look like.
Mm.
So outside
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that the White Sox have been telling teams no on Dylan Cease, just because he has another year of control as well. Like seeing what Giolito fetched, I would be kind of intrigued to see what a Dylan Cease could. Like if you're the White Sox, right? I think like their fucking most lucrative contract ever given out was Yasmani Grandal, only to be passed by I think Andrew Benintendi. So like they're not going to pay Dylan Cease. He's going to be a free agent after next year. You're not contending next year. You can tell the fans, hey, we're going to plan on contending next year. You're not.
I don't know.
So you think the White Sox can contend next year?
It's just such a mid-division. I could see him getting some random guys who just like, the vibes are fixed and all of a sudden like they're kind of good. They're like the Cubs are kind of competing right now. Why can't they do what
it just
the Cubs
takes a
do?
fucking 80-win team to compete in this division.
Yeah. The odds aren't great, but it could definitely happen.
I guess, but like all that just to get bulldozed in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Like you're not a World Series contender.
No, but you're closer. But this goes back to the conversation we were having the other day. You're closer to competing with. And if I'm trying to sell you on something, I want you excited about our potentiality. I want you to be really pumped up that we can compete with, as we sit right now, Jared. We can compete with some of these larger market clubs, some of these high dollar big spending clubs, we can compete with them.
Yeah, I guess
And
the
then we've only got
expectations are much, much lower on the sell side. They just are.
Well, the other thing is that like the history of Jerry Reinsdorf's ownership has not featured really many, if any, true blue full on rebuilds. Like that's not really how the franchise is operated. The previous, like the one we're talking about right now, was mostly like him letting all of the old pieces expire in the fridge and them just like you know what I mean? Like getting draft picks and making international signings that, to their credit, worked out. Like that wasn't necessarily them being super proactive about tearing down the previous team. So like that's another part that has to factor in is like, does Reinsdorf have the appetite for both Reinsdorfs, I guess, have the appetite for a full-on rebuild? History would say no.
Yeah, especially if you look at like the teams and that, like look at the Guardians and the Twins, who are the two top teams. Like they are constantly not rebuilding when they could and not doing a ton to actually compete, but still are first place. If you're the White Sox, you're looking at that like, why can't that be us in next year?
And you
Well,
have
for the Guardians, a lot of that.
Sorry, go Dallas.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
You have two teams in that division who did do the full-on rebuilds and have basically nothing to show for it too.
Yeah.
And a lot of what the Guardians have been able to do has been predicated on their ability to churn out productive arms. That's the other thing. So there's a very glaring separator in terms of that. But the whole point is, if you've only got one team creating separation because they're telling their guys how to throw strikes more than some of the other teams in that division, again, I like our chances of competing, not really trying that hard.
It's disappointing. I'm disappointed.
It's disappointing. It's business, though.
It is. And it's also just like how the White Sox do things. Like I just got it, the Giolito start specifically felt like the start of something special for the White Sox. Like his psychotic stare in the playoffs, I was like, man, like I feel like I'm watching like the beginning of a DVD that's documenting the White Sox dynasty that they're about to go on. Just never even fucking came close to that.
The Giolito eyes had you. I mean, that's like the third time you've referenced it.
We were streaming during it. Like
I know.
was popping big time. I was like, think about like knowing a dude to be like a gentle giant for his entire existence, and then you just see him in like fuck you demon mode, and you're like, whoa, like that is just not something I'm familiar with. But you can only bring that out of someone in the postseason, and it just didn't happen.
I think what White Sox fans across the board would agree on is that you would like to see your team and your franchise be the one that forces the tide to change in that division. Meaning, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing here because everybody else around us just kind of keeps doing what they're doing. And we all just end up kind of in the same spot year after year at the end of it all. How about you fucking challenge yourself and you challenge everybody else around you to get just a little bit better by you investing and getting that much better. I think that's what the White Sox fans would want to see. Separate ourselves.
We've been lulled through decades of this ownership into thinking that the White Sox are some sort of mid-market, like AL. They fit in with the AL Central or something. They play in the city of Chicago. Like there is very little that should be separating the White Sox and the Cubs or other White Sox and other big market teams in big cities in terms of their payroll. They should be blowing away the rest of the division, and that's never how they've operated.
No.
Nope.
The Tigers in Cleveland have operated that way more recently in their history than the White Sox have, for sure.
Yeah, the late Mr. Illich was ready to fucking write checks, man. Get me that ring.
And Jacobs, back in the 90s,
mm-hmm.
Place was rocking.
Oh, the Jake.
Anyways, we went 0 for 4 on our parlay on Monday, by the way.
That's all right.
Baseball fans, you can be winning every inning With the hottest offers in the game, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered from the top of the first to the bottom of the ninth all season long. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 to score $150 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can take a shot at bigger payouts with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Open the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place your parlay by combining 3 or more bets from the same game. Every additional leg gets you an extra boost up to 100%. Step up to the plate now with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app, sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared. New customers can bet just $5 to score $150 in bonus bets instantly, only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Jared. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after insurance. Opt-in and 10-plus leg requirement for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. All right, let's talk about the Angels side of this thing. I think it was a very quick turnaround from the conversation being, are they going to trade Shohei Ohtani? Will they trade Shohei Ohtani? Where is Shohei Ohtani going to? He's off the table. We're not trading Shohei Ohtani. Stop calling us about Shohei Ohtani. We've acquired Lucas Giolito. That was probably a 48-hour turnaround. So, I mean, say what you want about the Angels and whether or not you believe that they can make the playoffs, and if they do make the playoffs, what they can do in the playoffs. Say whatever you want about that. But I believe it should be commended that they looked at all the fucking discussion about where's Shohei Ohtani getting traded to. Oh, the Angels have no balls. They're not going to trade him. They don't want to be the team that trades Shohei Ohtani. And, they're never going to get a return. Like, the return that they get for Shohei is going to be totally scrutinized. And then they said, you know what? Fuck you. We're going to trade for Lucas Giolito, and we're going to make the playoffs. That's what they said. Instead of dealing with the what if, will they, won't they aspect of Ohtani, they said, wait a second. We can make a trade that has nothing to do with Shohei and try to win baseball games. We can do that. That's an option. And they went out and
how
did
to
it.
double down. Yes, they figured out how to double down. They figured out how to double down. Not only, what do I have up this sleeve right here? What, you see this? Boom, that's Ohtani staying here. Guess what I got up this sleeve right here? This one right here. You like it? Boom, Giolito and Reynaldo Lopez, huh? We're going to the fucking postseason, bitches, and you thought we were selling the farm. Nay, nay. Nay, nay. I love it. I love it. If you're going to be, and this just kind of feels, this fuels my take that Artie Moreno pulled back because of what ownership or potential suitors were looking at, going, I don't know about the franchise, no Ohtani there, blah, blah, blah. So Artie's going, you know what? Fine, fuck it. Here we go. Gangbusters. We're keeping Ohtani. We're making moves to get to the postseason. We're going to see what that looks like. And should that fail, there's a solid chance they'll be on the market by January 1.
Yeah, momentum. They got the momentum. I say, what if we get that announcement tonight? Shohei Ohtani signs 10-year extension.
No.
I mean, that right there. Oh God! Could you imagine? Could you imagine on deadline day that's what comes across the ticker is Artie Moreno? No, the day before deadline day, and then from there, Artie Moreno makes 2 more splashes to cap off just an incredible run that nobody saw coming this time around.
Listen, I'm with.
Come on, Jay.
I know I'm with Jared.
I'm
with Jared that it. As a neutral fan, I'm fine commending it. I think it is cooler as a fan of baseball that an owner is operating his team like this, going kind of all in, quote unquote, on what is objectively a low percentage play by him than it would be to run your team like 80% or 90% of major league owners run their team right now, which is like a corporate line item or like, some real estate investment like we've talked about ad nauseum on this podcast. This is cool. What we also have to understand is that the high better last a long time from making this series of decisions, because like maybe 6, 7, 8 years, the high better last, because if and when it fails, there's going to be pain on the other side. Like we've talked about that. We don't have to get into it again, but like that, just because it's exciting and just because it's the more fun way to run your franchise and the more fun way for me to take in Angels baseball and maybe even the general hunt for the postseason in general, that doesn't mean that it's going to work in the short or the long term. So like that's fine. That's fine. That's what he did, but it doesn't make it smart, right? It doesn't make it.
No, but to that point, okay. We got to, I think at some point in time, you applaud the idea of what it looks like to have somebody running counterintuitive to the majority. You just said it's nice.
Or just prioritize trying to win over in the present over like, hey, what do my books look like or something like that, which seems to be how.
But that right there. But that's the issue, Jay. That's the issue with baseball fans and business like-minded people is they can't separate the idea of somebody doing what Artie Moreno is doing and look at that objectively and think that can also be a competitive move, all while looking at the bottom line going, all right, well, you can call it a competitive move. It just doesn't make dollars. It doesn't make sense, so it's stupid either way. And you're going, well, but don't you want an owner to like want to try? Don't you want him to just care a little where he's like, fuck it, I'll sign these guys. I'm keeping this dude. And I know the numbers tell me that might not be the smartest thing to do, but I'm going with my gut here. I'm trying to fucking win.
That's fine. Artie Moreno's on the team for decades. I would have loved to see more trying leading up to this point instead of a last-ditch effort to try at the 2023 trade deadline on the verge of Ohtani leaving. Like, this is nice. This is fun if I'm an Angels fan, but it's also frustrating at the same time because the back end of this, the risk, the downside is tremendous. And it's so deep that it could be...
It's the greatest risk in baseball.
It could render this franchise like bottom of the barrel for a half decade or longer if this fails the playoff run and the decision come this offseason to retain Ohtani and to retain Giolito also fail. Like, there's just so much risk here that it's fun.
Yeah,
it can be fun and stupid at the same time.
They were fucked either way. Let's be honest, dude. They were,
Yes.
It was like, why not try it?
Lions and the Hippos. Lions and the Hippos, Joe.
Yeah, dude, they've been trying. It's not like this is like their first time. They've been trying and failing consistently for like 10 years.
They drafted 20 pitchers.
So why?
This goes all the way back to CJ
trying?
Wilson.
Dude,
Yeah.
they've been
Honestly, that's them going, we hear you. We hear you. We get it. We have Twitter.
Well,
we got it.
Yeah, I mean,
we need arms.
signing Josh Hamilton, signing Albert Pujols, Rendon, all these big guys was trying, and it just didn't work. And now they're doing the same thing, and they're trying. I think it's sick because if you're gonna keep Ohtani, you might as well add someone else.
That Josh Hamilton thing was just so bad. Oh my God. That was like the Angels picked up a hitchhiker and were like, we're cool with this. We're good people. We like to help people. Oh, you know what? There is a stench coming from back there that we are just not quite. You know what? Just slow down and we're just going to open up the. Whoop, sorry.
It's nice.
Go.
It's like you gave the hitchhiker your car, is what. I think Joey's right though about the double down thing. Like if you were going to keep Ohtani, this is the play. Like, go get yourself maybe the best arm that's going to get traded at the deadline and a guy who like is a near perfect fit for what this team needed, which is another good pitcher besides Ohtani, right? To fit at the front of the rotation. Giolito is not quite the same guy that he was from 19 to 21 in terms of missing bats, but he's still really good overall. And they weren't, to me, one of the problems with the postseason push before this Giolito trade was that even if they miraculously got to the playoffs, I didn't understand how they were going to win any games in the postseason, or certainly any series. Like, Ohtani's the only pitcher on that team, in my estimation, who could get you a postseason win. Now I think you have to feel a little bit differently about if you can overcome the odds and get to the postseason, what your chances in the actual postseason look like with an Ohtani Giolito 1-2 punch.
Well, I'll tell you what you're gonna need is you're gonna need to play game 1 and then have a fucking 3-day rain out. And then you're gonna need to play game 2 and then have another fucking 3-game rain out. Okay. That's what the Angels' path to the postseason or deeper into the postseason looks like is monsoon season.
The Angels, they got an uphill battle, Rob. I'm gonna be honest. Still, I they're playing the Tigers tonight, whatever, tomorrow. And then they play the Blue Jays. Then they play the Braves. Then they play Seattle. Then they play the Giants. Then they play Houston. Then they play Texas. Then they play the Rays. Then they play Cincinnati. Then they play the Mets. That's like 20 games in a row of teams with winning records.
That is, I don't want to call it a gauntlet, but that is a bit of an uphill battle, Joe. Yes.
It sounds like it would be a tall task for a lot of teams, not the Boston Red Sox, who have the second best record in Major League Baseball against teams with winning records. I would be doing a disservice to the fans if I didn't get Max's take on this. So let me wait. Hold on. I gotta call him back. Where is it? Bluetooth. There we go. Technology. Here we go. Now we go. There we go.
Yo,
Hey, Max.
what's going on?
Hey, so did you see last night that the Angels made a trade?
Nah, man, let's start talking. Who do you get? Caleb Walt?
Yeah, you guys got Ronaldo Lopez.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
No, for real, though.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, for real.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
Yeah, you guys traded your top prospect for Ronaldo Lopez.
The ball knowers know he's
How bad is your service right now?
I'm good. I'm walking in my car right now.
All right. Yeah, keep on walking.
Yeah, I got it. It sounds that bad?
No, it sounds good. You're good now.
All right, cool. What's going on? Oh, you guys are all fucked. Oh,
What do you
playoff
mean?
tickets? Jared. No way. Bro, you were over here on the last episode. Oh, they made every rule for the Angels. They put up nets down the foul ball line so the Angels couldn't get foul balls. Dude, you were fucking going in on them. And now you want to go to the playoff game? You're cooked.
What? All I said was that they made they changed the scheduling rule so that Shohei could be showcased in every ballpark because the fans love Shohei. That's what I said. Don't put words in my mouth. I'll sue your ass.
That's what, yeah, but you're saying, oh, they made this rule for this. Phil Nevin this.
Phil
I had it recorded.
I picked Phil Nevin to be the manager of the year before the season started.
That's a great pick. Looking like a great pick right now. But no, we're totally back in. And, leave it to the Angels to go toe-to-toe with like, hey, there's aliens, no big deal. Oh, Angels? Lucas Giolito.
That is true. That is true.
They're the headline boys.
I can't fucking believe that we have Dallas Braden on this podcast and we podcast for 2 hours a day every day. This motherfucker never brought up the fact that the government was like, yeah, aliens exist and we do not know their intentions. Yep, we talked to them. We've seen them. We've collected pieces of them. Going back to the 1930s, aliens have just been chilling. They've been coming over here. We've met them. We don't know if they have violence in their hearts. Like, it's just like the government came out and said all this yesterday, and the Angels are like, all right, sick, dude. Anyways, Lucas Giolito, you are a Halo.
Hey, pack your bags up your curl. You're gone.
What do you think? What do you think the Angels playoff, like, not Fangraphs, like in your heart? What are the Angels playoff odds right now?
Well, they got a really tough schedule, so I'm gonna take it conservative.
We just
probably
talked
like
about
30%.
30%.
Probably like 35%.
Okay. All right. We did just take a look at that schedule. We just listed off all the teams that the Angels have. It's like a 20 game. Some people are calling it a gauntlet. 20 game.
It's a fucking gauntlet, bro.
Yeah, 20 game gauntlet. Do the Angels come out on the other side of this gauntlet with a winning record?
Oh yeah. They just got to go 2-1 every like 3 days.
That's it.
Like they're gonna win 2 today, right? And they have a big series against Toronto, who's like now the best team on the planet. By the way, like the Dodgers don't get enough flack for just being so good, but being the worst team of the decade.
Why?
In terms of like, well, they just never win. Like they don't win anything.
That's true.
They're just regular season champs. Like they like in a city where
what
Kobe Bryant
what
played
is an
championships,
Angels
they
fan
just leave
doing on
nothing.
here? Throwing shade at the team with a World Series victory
Okay.
and
You get what? You get Lucas Giolito. It's like, yep,
yeah,
that's
he's
it.
like, yo, fuck
We're-
the Dodgers. What the hell have they done? Like,
Oh, everybody gets the smoke,
it's
bro.
3
It's
games
fucking
over
Lucas
500.
Giolito. It's not
They're just
John
so
Wick.
bad. Oh, we got the whole squad. It might as well be John Wick. We're ready to go. We're just waiting for you guys to kill our dog, and we're there.
I'll be honest, dude. If
Shitting
the
on Max, he goes, "What's up, Jay?"
if the Angels make the playoffs, I wouldn't even blame them if they threw a parade. Like they deserve a parade. If they make the playoffs
That would
this
be
year,
sick. Yeah.
they went all in and
Like
they
the Padres,
did it.
like the Padres did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
That's like
Padres-
another thing. If the Padres would have traded for Giolito, all the baseball world would be like, "Oh my God, they're in. They're going for it. They're the best team ever." And the Angels do it, and everyone's like, "Oh, fucking wasting your franchise, piece of shit, dog shit, losing team."
We don't feel that way. I feel the exact opposite. I think if the Padres got Lucas Giolito, that even if I didn't say it out loud, I think in my soul I would feel, man, they're about to ruin Lucas Giolito. Like he's about to have like
Oh
a
my
fucking
God.
6.5 ERA as a Padre and then become a free agent and cost himself free agent dollars because he went to San Diego. I actually have really high hopes for Giolito with the Angels, mostly because he's free from the White Sox, and I think that he wants to be there. Maybe the Angels weren't his first choice. I'm sure he would rather be a Dodger, but the fact that he's an Angel, and I feel like he's going to embrace this opportunity.
Yeah, you right now you just said like I was listening to you and you said like Giolito they're gonna waste his career, and for like a split second I thought you were talking about the Angels doing it. I was really about to. I was gonna be like, and then I realized you were saying it about the Padres.
Yeah,
But
saying about the Padres.
you guys want to go through the like the rankings on where you guys stand? Like if the Angels get a home playoff game, I have them on my phone.
In terms of like where like the people on the podcast where we stand.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that you had
Okay.
already done the research, but go ahead, yeah.
It's a daily updated thing. It's like a fucking baseball savant.
It's daily updated.
So Jay, he tweeted a nice thing this morning. So he's gonna get upgraded from the nosebleeds to the outfield. So I don't know if you're ready. You're gonna be out there with Zach Campbell, 100%.
That's,
Zach,
are we going to fight while we're out there?
You know he's gonna try to get Ohtani's first home run. You just know that he's gonna be there.
yeah.
First name, last name is gonna be in the club section.
Okay.
He's earned it.
Why?
He's earned it.
Why?
First name, last name?
Yeah, he shits on the Angels all the time.
No,
False.
he does not. And
Nope.
he does it in a classy way. He's an ally. We know it.
He's not an ally.
Yeah.
He's
Quit
an
trying
ally.
to drag me down. Quit trying to drag me down with you.
No, he's no better than Ben Verlander. They're
Whoa,
Shohei
what the
fans.
fuck? I will fly to your house
Yeah.
and turn you into a fucking
Yeah.
relative
Yeah, he's
right now.
Bro,
Yo,
bro.
Don't
Tell-
fucking do that. You
come
want to
on.
be an
Fir-
uncle?
first
You
name-
want to be an uncle? You want to
first
be a
name,
brother?
last
Keep
name.
talking.
First name, last name is fucking a Ben Verlander wannabe.
Wow.
That all he does
Clip
is
it off,
suck
Jake.
off Shohei.
Clip it off.
That's it.
Hey, Dallas, you know what I said though? These industry plants got to stick together, Jared and Ben.
Industry.
Two industry plants right there, bro. Rob Manfred's fucking plant.
Okay, I'm just saying he's not
okay,
he's
so-
not an Angels fan. He's a Shohei guy. Anyways, go ahead.
Dallas is club level. He's
Yeah.
in there. He knows the field. He knows where his ticket's at. He's good.
Okay.
Jared, you're out. You can watch it from home.
What do you
don't
mean?
even leave
What?
home anyway.
What do you
don't
mean?
even- you don't even leave your house.
What do you I don't shit on the Angels.
Bro, you don't even leave your house anyway. You're good.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
then Joey, for some reason, like I haven't been tracking what he's been saying, but I just have him as out. I don't know why.
What
I
the
feel like
fuck,
Joey's
bro?
been an ally. Yeah, Joey's
I'm
been an
always
ally.
replying to you, telling you Zach Netto's the GOAT. I stuck up for Mickey Moniak on the podcast.
Yeah,
I put my
we
life on
had
the line
like
for
a
Mickey Moniak.
It's a big
we had a
two-
segment
it's a
on Zach
big,
Neto for a
big
while.
2 days for Joey.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, Joey deserves.
No,
the
I
best
was
seat
just
in
going
the
to say,
house.
Max, I will say this. I believe Joey deserves to sit with me diamond level
Okay.
just because he is a huge Showtime supporter. He is the creator of the Three Sword Samurai nickname.
Yeah,
So I think Joe and I,
get a lot of credit.
Joe and I sitting right next to each other.
Huh?
Yes, we did. Joe and I mean, thick as thieves. Joe and I.
Yeah, I got into the diamond level because of Dallas.
Hey,
Psych.
if you act right, I'll introduce you to like Mark Gubas or something. You guys can get a Segoy going.
oh
Segoy.
yeah, a three-way
Fuck yeah.
Segoy. You guys can get a Segoy going.
Segoy. No, he's the best, bro. I felt Oh, people were saying actually, if I can get some intro music, how you do the pirate and they said if you play like "Calling All the Angels," like that would be the best theme song ever.
What the
Someone said
fuck is
Not
that?
me.
What is that?
And by people,
Yep.
do you mean
Bro, that song?
Abuelita? You mean Abuelita
That's my
suggested
grandma.
that you get
telling you. Yeah, she's mad at you though. She wanted to be the first pick, not Jared's mom.
Oh,
He
Well, that was
comes
just-
to my grandma too, Jared.
yeah. I
Clip that off.
She serenaded him with like a guitar on his birthday one day.
she did. Why?
Oh, she sent me.
She sang
That
happy
is a
birthday.
fact.
Yeah.
I have a musical performance video from Max's grandmother to me. True story.
Yeah.
Personalized. Not even
What
a
year?
cameo. Didn't even pay for it 2 years ago.
You still have
It
it?
was like 2 years ago.
Yes, because I have it on my.
Send it to me. We'll play it.
I have.
We'll play
Well,
it
I have it on my old. I have it on my old phone. So when I-
Yeah.
when
Play
I- when I
Max's
get-
grandma.
when I-
I'll put
Hey, when's your birthday? I'll try to get
March
you one.
19th.
Well, what the fuck? What do we do now? We're just passing out fucking Abuelita's well wishes.
Get
That's
the
not
hell
cool.
out of here. I
Why
want
don't
to.
you?
I have like an aunt for him, maybe.
All right, I'd
Okay,
take an
all right,
ant.
that's fair.
Maybe.
Um,
I mean, the way he's tweeting, have you guys seen his Angels tweets? They're insanely positive
Thanks, Max.
so far.
Jay Hayes Angel
No, thank
tweets.
Hey,
Yeah, he's like, they're going all in for it. Whatever happens, doesn't matter. They're the best. Back to school.
Jay Hay doesn't tweet positively about.
I call it as
anybody.
I see it, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
I think he's stoked that like the Angels never employed Harold Baines. That's why he's like, oh, they're the best.
Jay Hay, the template for a Jay Hay tweet is "You suck and here's why." That's a Jay Hay tweet.
It's good brand.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm hoping if the Angels get like a playoff game that there's like something like one of that crazy like disco night that happened fucking 20,000 years ago.
Disco
That way, like
demolition
Joey can
night.
make a video, be like the first Angels playoff game. Yeah, like I hope there's something crazy that goes on like that.
you're also just like handing out these seat rankings for all of us. Like you're assuming the Angels are going to get a home playoff game.
Yeah. Yikes.
Oh, they are. That's like you'd rather have it ready than not have it ready, just in case they do.
Yeah. I mean, it could be
So,
against
I have it ready.
could be against the Red Sox. You could be playing the Red Sox in the playoffs. Then what?
I mean, then we'll be looking forward to. No, actually, the Red Sox. Yeah, no, I don't like you guys in the playoffs, but I get it. Like, I was thinking you said like Yankees because we always kill the Yankees in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We used to when I was like, I don't know, fucking 17 or yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not worried about the Red Sox, bro. You guys, I'm worried about the Yellow Sox. We playing the Yellow Sox?
I mean, the Yellow Sox are 21-4. Can you believe that? They've
No,
they've
that-
worn their yellow jerseys 25 times and won 21 of the games.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
During an era, they introduced the yellow jerseys during an era where they were like a last place team for a vast majority of their existence. Then they have like a fucking 900 winning percentage wearing the yellow jerseys. So if we wear those in the playoffs,
What-
it's pretty much a done deal.
what are they in right now? They're like in fourth place or something.
Yeah, but like it's all about the wild card. No, winning the division's kind of lame.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, the Red Sox right now are a game and a half back of the Toronto Blue Jays for the third wild card spot with no teams in front of us. So, just saying.
Yeah, and did you guys? I mean, the Blue Jays are on fire. I mean, I don't know if you guys talked about them beating the Dodgers, the team who's a regular season juggernaut but never wins anything.
No, It looks like the Blue Jays have won one consecutive game, and they're 5-5 over their last 10, whereas the Red Sox have won 4 straight games and have the best record in baseball over the last month. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it all ends up. We'll see where the pieces fall, where they land. Listen, I'm rooting for you. I hope the Angels make the playoffs. I hope that we get Red Sox Angels once again, so we can just wipe our ass with the Angels like we always do every single postseason, every single one. 2004, 2007, 2008. It's crazy.
Big Poppy on here, fucking laughing at me. Great.
Yeah, he probably will.
Who do you want us to play? Like for if the Angels make it, like who do you think would be a good matchup? Like besides the Red Sox,
Royals, Tigers.
Like what would be
A's.
a good discussion week? Like what would be a good week leading up into like
Man,
the Orioles? Like that'd be cool.
I mean, let's just say the Angels don't stack up well against anybody that is currently a playoff team.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, great analysis. There,
Great analysis. All right, Max. Hey, thank you for taking the time today. The Twitter is Max Air Jordan 1.
Yep. And I guess can I plug the pod? Like, is that cool? Like, I don't.
You plug what?
Small little pod.
Oh, you got a podcast? Yeah.
Bro, last week when you were doing that, you gave me your little intro. You're like, "Oh, just a fan, whatever." I was like, "Bro, I invited you on to come on."
You literally did not invite me on your podcast. You did not.
Oh my god, we're gonna do this. All right.
I'll come on your podcast,
No, right.
Max. I'll come on your podcast.
No.
Max.
Hey
Max,
guys, thanks. Max says no, just an Angels fan. No, just an Angels concession ticket taker usher. No big deal.
Yeah, no, Max. I'll come on your podcast.
No, you're good.
No, I want to come on. All right, next episode.
We're gonna try to get Ben. See if he's busy. So.
Oh, okay. Well, he's right here.
Ben.
You talking about Ben, or are you talking about fake Ben?
No.
I'm gonna fuck you up. Straight up, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Dallas was my first ever podcast guest ever.
Oh,
fact.
All right. Well,
Fact.
I'll come on. All right.
All right.
We'll have some theme music for you next time.
Okay. Hell yeah. Thank you guys. And yeah.
All right. Go
Thanks,
Angels.
Max.
Yeah, many besos to Abuelita.
See ya. Tell your aunt I said hi.
Yeah.
I'll let her know.
I'll see you on your podcast.
Bye, Max. That's Max. Straight up Angels fan, Max. Wow, what a world! I bet he's gonna go right back to drinking Blue Moons. That's probably what he's doing all day after getting Lucas Giolito. Playoffs are just around the corner, as we just discussed. So it's time to help your team up by sticking to your lucky rituals, like the ritual of enjoying an ice cold Blue Moon while the game is on. Blue Moon was born in a ballpark, first brewed at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Make it your one-of-a-kind baseball tradition, whether you're at the park or watching from home. Dallas, are the A's off today?
The A's are off today. I'm going to be leaving here shortly. I've got a tea time.
Oh.
But yes, the Oakland A's are off today. We are in Colorado. And if you know anything about
that.
If you know anything about Colorado, you know that they've got a ballpark that was actually the birthplace of a coriander-infused beverage that I enjoy so much.
How many Blue Moons it can fit on a golf cart?
I don't know, but we're going to find out how many Blue Moons can fit in my belly after a fucking full round.
Yeah.
Speaking of full round.
Yeah. Do you have any is this going to be a star-studded golf outing, or is this going to be like old friends? Like who are we expecting?
It's one old friend. It's actually if you are a Rockies fan, I'm sure you are very familiar with the work of Jenny Cavnar.
Yeah.
If you are someone who listens to MLB Network Radio, you also know Jenny Cavnar. She married one of my childhood best friends. I mean, I've known the guy since I was probably 7 years old. So he, former Stocktonian, now Coloradian. I think that's probably way wrong, but I'm going to say that. Coloradan. Yeah, he's out here now. So he's a firefighter. He's got an off day. We're going to go golfing. That's about it. There will be smoke.
I saw Jenny at the All-Star game in Seattle for Media Day when I was hazing Julio Daniel Martinez. Jenny walked by. By the way, Rockies have great coverage all around. They've got one of my favorite broadcasts. With its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one of a kind? Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience. Perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful bright color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Brighten up your baseball traditions with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's a one-of-a-kind every time. Check out shop.bluemoonbrewingcompany.com for baseball merch and visit get.bluemoonbeer.com/rocket to find Blue Moon delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/rocket. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale. Dallas, I was at the driving range last weekend, and I know the last time I hit a golf ball on a golf course was with you when we went out with Whit Merrifield,
Mm-hmm.
and that went horribly.
It wasn't your best showing. I wasn't going to bring it up though.
That went horrible. That was probably like the worst display in my life of trying to hit a golf ball. But I got out there last weekend and I started hitting a bucket. Everything was straight. Like I kind of was just like, I was surprised at myself at how it went.
What club did you start with?
I only went 3-wood. I don't use a driver. Even when I was like golfing regularly, I would never use a driver. I drove with a 3-wood, and then I would use my irons on the fairway and then chip and putt.
Yeah, no, I was just curious if you had a routine. Like typically, you don't start with your 3-wood on the range.
No, I always drove with my 3-wood. I don't know why. I would always slice with my driver, and with my 3-wood, I could always hit it straight. So,
well, it's probably a matter of club head weight for you. You just probably had a tough time turning that club head over.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, the guy that can bench fucking 375 has trouble with a golf head. That's it.
I love watching you. Like I could see you briefly start to count the number of plates and what that was going to look like and do the math. If I could bench 2 plates, 20, probably like 375. Yeah. There's no fucking chance.
Yeah.
No, you start with the lower clubs, right? Little wedge, get you a little 56 action in there, maybe a P, and then from there you work your way up through the irons.
I just want to get back out there. All I'm saying is I want to get back out there. I want to do a nice little off day golf outing. I think Tim Wakefield, is having a charity event soon that I might dabble in.
Ooh, name drop.
With Loomer.
I may see you there.
Yeah. Do you realize that you have to play the whole round of golf though?
No, I don't, because I think what was discussed was that Loomer Loney and I would be a tandem where he would drive and I would putt, which is what you and I did, Dallas. You would just get me on the green and I would putt.
I guess that could work.
Mm-hmm.
Did you drain like a long ass putt?
Yeah, my short game's nasty. Don't fucking say a word. Don't shut the fuck up.
It's really natural. It's really natural for you. You know, it's nice to see my guy down here to do me sometimes. You heard it here first.
I'm attracted to
on the
lot
top of the
different
list.
guys.
Oh, you short game.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, that's great. If Jared was Native American, his name would be oh, little driving short game. That's great. Oh man. What do you say the best part of your short game is, Jared?
I'm just really good at it. Just really good at it. I'm out there sinking putts. That's what I do. You golf, Joe?
No. I'm probably
You don't?
No, I don't golf, but I'm probably really good at it if I tried it.
What are you? What are they? You live in like the woods. Like, what do you do besides play golf and hunt?
Don't hunt, don't golf. I played pickleball 2 days ago. That was fucking
Yeah, pickleball's in right now.
Yeah.
I would absolutely fucking destroy you in pickleball, Joey. Destroy you.
All right, old man. Let's see it.
Oh!
I think you might be surprised, boss.
Hey, no, I think you might be surprised, boss. Because I can tell you right now, Jared had the same thought about me until he saw.
With what?
Until he saw the athleticism on full display.
Oh
No, not
my
ping pong.
God, dude! I
Not
was
ping
on
pong.
drugs.
Not ping pong. So was I. Not ping pong.
So was I.
I was on a lot more drugs, to be honest. No, I'm talking about when you came out and you saw the wheels in motion on the softball diamond. You knew, you're like, oh shit, this dude, yeah, fucking raw athlete.
Well, you were a
My bad.
professional baseball player. I don't know. I think that makes a little more sense than pickleball, brother.
Yeah, pickleball is a whole different ball game.
Don't worry about it. Raise your hand if you've played in a
It's-
softball league head to head against Dallas and won a championship, and his team didn't that season. Oh damn! My bad.
Oh,
Shit.
How did that happen?
Hey,
in
I don't know.
Bristol?
You're fucking disgustingly
hand.
nasty.
Who else was on the team? How could if Dallas was living on the West Coast and you were on the East Coast, how did you play in a softball?
He played
team?
with the team whenever he would be in town, right, Dallas? Whenever you were.
You want to know how? This is how dedicated
Yeah,
Dallas
he was unusually
Dallas would get on a
dedicated for
fucking-
somebody of his notoriety. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would get on an airplane at fucking midnight in Los Angeles and fly my ass to the East Coast, land at fucking Newark or whatever terrible hobnob airport that is, and from there take a car, sometimes directly to the fucking softball field. So I'd show up to the softball field after a red eye, still in fucking red eye plain clothes or whatever, got my luggage with me, and just bring a bat and glove. Somebody have a left-handed glove for me. Somebody have a pair of cleats I could wear. Greg Colley can attest to this. He brought a pair of his friend's cleats that he stopped by and pulled off of his front porch. That's what I was wearing. Jay was also there for the ridiculous display of power I put on. First game there, Jared, I hit 3 balls farther than anybody's hit 3 balls in that fucking league, back to back to back. Hit a 4th ball that went across the fucking street, and Fish, you short-changing, pencil-whipping son of a bitch, he called it foul. I would have had a 4-homer game, first game in the fucking league, and I got fucking robbed. Bullshit.
Sounds like you lost. Though. Also, Dallas Braden got to be the only person in recorded history to be in a company softball league that has West Coast, East Coast trips.
That is a wild move.
Hey, that's what happened when it was Mike Musina, Dallas Braden, like hired gun type stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like you just, hey, whatever you need, buddy.
Mhm.
We'll fly you out, get you your ABs, go home, take a rest, do an hour or so on the mothership, and we'll call it a night. Sound good?
Yeah, you got to come play for the Maestros because we got something cooking over here.
I don't know if I'm dancing to your drum, Joe.
Well, every Sunday we go out there and we play our fucking hearts out. If you want to be a part of it, we might have a spot for you. If not, we'll be all right.
Do you have can you compensate me with a free hunting weekend?
Yeah, okay. I don't hunt. I don't have a gun. I don't have shit. But sure. Let's go hunting.
That does not
Let's
sound
go
fun.
hunting.
Let's go hunting.
How do you not hunt? You
I live
in-
fucking
you live in
10
a-
minutes from Washington, D.C., dog. I'm not in the woods. I wish I could claim woods. I wish I would.
There's an albino squirrel that lives in Washington, D.C. Jared and I saw him.
Who is it?
An albino squirrel. Remember
Oh
the
yeah.
albino
Oh
squirrel?
yeah.
that I was
Remember that?
chasing around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All-Star Game 2018.
I'll be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check him out.
He's
He's right by the monument.
he's pretty easy to spot. He's
He's
white.
eating good.
Yeah, he's a thick boy.
Yeah, he's eating pretty good. Jay, hey, do you have any thoughts on acquiring Noah Syndergaard?
I actually do. I don't know if that's surprising or not.
Yeah.
I have thoughts on acquiring him and sending out Rosario. I think it is very unusual that you see a trade that features 2 people that are this bad. Because I mean, honest to God, like, yes, that's a little snark.
Is either side
That's
getting
a little-
better? Is either
That's
side
a
getting
little
better,
snarky,
Jay?
but it's also like normally when people that are this bad, they get released or outrighted or demoted or whatever. They don't get traded for each other. Rosario has been There have been 144 qualified batters this season, and 15 of them have been considered below replacement level. He's one of those 15 batters. The Dodgers are seemingly cornering the market on the worst defensive shortstops in baseball because it's him and Kike, who are at the bottom of outs above average. I'm sure the plan is to deploy them a little bit differently, but we'll see exactly how that goes. But as far as Syndergaard goes, I mean, what is there to be optimistic about a 7.16 ERA in 55 innings? Like, this is as
Nothing.
much of a case of Cleveland's rotation just being absolutely devastated by injury as it is anything else. Like this, we were talking about the possibility of Lance Lynn being dealt yesterday, I think it was, and about how what would he provide to a Rays contender or anybody else, and it's bulk innings, right? It's the availability of pitching every fifth day. And to me, this is the worst possible example of that, because it's like, yes, in theory, he can take the ball, but he has a 7.16 ERA. Like, that's the seventh highest.
It's not
That's
good.
the seventh highest out of 176 pitchers with 50 innings pitched this year. So, like, Cleveland, as Dallas noted when comparing them to the White Sox, Cleveland has gotten by pitching development and getting more out of pitchers in their minor leagues coming up to the majors than anybody thought they would by their prospect status. And to see them reduced to having to trade Syndergaard or for Syndergaard to basically soak up innings is depressing.
Jay, is there any thought though that they might feel confident to an extent that they've identified something with
Maybe.
Syndergaard that they could help?
I'm
And I'm not telling you that it's going to go from a 7 to even a 4.5. I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying, when you are a team that is in the spot that the Guardians are in right now, you also have to consider that there's going to be a time where you need important, call it what they are, mop-up innings accounted for. And if that is something that Syndergaard can do for them, because they've figured out in a different way how to account for some of those innings as a starter, well, then maybe that's where he fits in for a team, again, who's just trying to do whatever they can to create separation, to play catch up, whatever position they find themselves in at the end of each week heading into October. Because it's 2-3 games that separate them and the Twins right now.
I get it. And you would have lost a lot of money betting against the Cleveland pitching development system over the last decade or so. So if that's how this plays out, then I will happily come back on this podcast and say, like, damn, they did it again. Like, Noah Syndergaard ripped off, 10 starts with a 3.0 ERA, and like, what a great turn of events that was for Cleveland as they came back and won the division. But I would have more confidence in that if we weren't saying the exact same thing about Syndergaard before he or as he signed with the Dodgers, right? Like, that was the whole thing about Syndergaard going to LA was that, they've found something, or they're going to be able to tweak him, or they're going to get some velocity back, or whatever it might be. And like, none of that happened. In fact, it got worse. So yes, it's possible that happens with Cleveland, but in that vein, you could say that about literally anybody in the major leagues, right? If you can say that about a guy with a 7.16 ERA, then you could trade for anybody and say that. Like, so if it happens, great. But if it doesn't, and I'm not expecting it to, then I just don't think this is going to yield much. One final point on this, and this is big picture, is that I think a reassessment of the Francisco Lindor trade is in order now too, from Cleveland's perspective, because Rosario was 50% of the major league pieces that they got back for him. It was Rosario and Andres Jimenez, and then two prospects who have not amounted to much. And Rosario is now Noah Syndergaard. So for Francisco Lindor, you have acquired Andres Jimenez and Noah Syndergaard. Noah Syndergaard is bad, right? And also just a rental. And Andres Jimenez has suffered one of the largest steps back from 2022 to 2023 in all of Major League Baseball. So, and given that this is more like what he was before 2022, I think as a Cleveland fan, you have to be very nervous that Andres Jimenez's 2022 was the best that you're ever going to get from him, and maybe by a considerable amount, in which case you have very little to show for trading one of the 25 best players in Major League Baseball, and for a deal that looked like it could be a win-win, that was marketed as a win-win for a long time, it really only looks like a win if you're Larry Dolan and you own the Cleveland Indians and didn't want to pay Francisco Lindor $300 million, because Francisco Lindor on the Cleveland Guardians right now, in place of Andres Jimenez and Noah Syndergaard, or the first 80 games of Ahmed Rosario and Noah Syndergaard, they are a noticeably better team now and in the future. So that, I think, has to factor into this trade as well, because Ahmed Rosario was a piece of that deal, and he's been cast off. He was bad this year, but he was pretty decent for them leading up to this year. He's now been cast off for one of the worst starting pitchers in baseball. I mean, I know my brand is what it is, but like, how else is there to describe a 7.16 ERA? And a
There's
5
not
mile an
room to
hour
grow
drop
for
in
A
velocity.
reclamation project that was not reclaimed.
Yeah.
That's how.
So
Slow start.
Is he under contract for next year?
I thought he signed a 1 year, like a 1 year, 11 million or
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. It was 1 mil. I think it was 1 mil, like 10 or 11
There you
mil.
go.
You obviously don't expect the guards to be done, right? Like they still need some offense. They hit like 1 home run every 17 games.
They just don't hit home
I got to
runs.
be honest with you.
Period.
Yes, they need offense, but they have needed offense for years. They've needed offense when they were closer to a World Series team. Like they signed Josh Bell this offseason to nominally address that lack of offense, and he has been very bad for most of the season.
Mhm.
Jared, the
They don't-
Guardians are the
I
only
don't-
team in baseball history to make the postseason with a center fielder without a home run from the center field position.
Yeah.
I just, every pitcher that goes down, they've got somebody they can bring back up. Gavin Williams has come up, BB's come up, Logan Allen is back. At some point, you're really testing the depth of your organization when you're missing Bieber and Tristan McKenzie and even, Cal Quantrill, who is not particularly sexy and I don't think is that great of a pitcher, but who gave them a lot of very good innings last year. That was part of the equation. And now it's not. So we'll see. I don't think they're done, but if they make a move for offense, it's going to be a player that is like, a borderline release candidate on another team, I think.
The Chicago White Sox have scored more runs than the Cleveland Guardians this year.
It's a really bad offense, and there's not really any reason to think that it's going to get better because the juice last year was on that high contact stuff with no pop. And I just don't think – I think this year has proven that that's just not a way to sustain a very good offense. You need more power than this team is capable of delivering, and Josh Naylor and Josh Bell as your second and third best power hitters doesn't play. It's just not going to play.
Remember, J.A., they've got power sprinkled throughout this lineup. Right, Joe? They've got power sprinkled throughout this lineup. And maybe come postseason time, putting the bat on the ball starts to take precedent again, and they're able to run into the homer here and there when they need it. Huh?
I actually don't think that's the case. I think this team is
Sure about that?
is very overmatched when it comes to the playoffs. I think we've seen that every time it gets in. It seems like it's the Yankees, and not even these juggernaut Yankees, just any old Yankees team that gets in. The Cleveland team runs up against them, and it's like, oh shit, well, even against their shitty pitcher, we can't score any runs. Like it's a chronically flawed offense, unfortunately. Outside of
Well,
Joe
they
Ray.
got 79. They got 79 home runs on the year. That's last.
Oh, is that
However,
good? Do you want home
If
runs?
distributed evenly here and there, different spots, different times, those 79 home runs can go a long way. You just got to know where to sprinkle them.
Do you
And
think
that's going to be the Guardian strategy from here on out.
do you think that a team is capable of dictating when they hit home runs?
Hey, man, analytics, it's an interesting game. I think certain teams are doing certain things, and, some of them have edges. I think the Guardians,
There's no doubt about
they
that.
found an edge. They could find an edge with the home run, with hitting the least amount of home runs, but the best amount of home runs. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying. I don't think it is a thing that's going to happen.
Tim Anderson, Guardians.
Sure. I mean, he fits right in.
He's got some pop.
He has no pop, unfortunately.
He hasn't hit a home run in over a year. Seems fit right in with the guards. Need a shortstop.
Dallas has to go. His car.
Oh
has
wow!
arrived.
Thank you, good sir, for blessing us with your time.
Yeah, thank you for gracing us with your presence, Ben.
Anything I could do,
Dallas.
anything to do for you guys. Anything I can do for you guys.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what happens with, I should say, Houston and
Tejas.
and their pursuit. Yeah, because that was some back and forth there with Houston and Texas. Simeon getting drilled. I like to see that kind of stuff heading into a good postseason run, especially with two teams who are going to have something to say about where each other finish in the division. I'm not saying I like to see the bad stuff happening or the throwing at guys' heads and shit, but just the energy. Give me that. I'm here for that.
Okay. We're going to talk about that a little bit because there were some fireworks last night between the Astros and the Rangers, who have closed the gap to one game in the American League West. Dallas, we'll see you Monday.
See you Monday.
Enjoy
See you
your
Monday.
weekend.
Enjoy the weekend full of baseball. I'm
Yeah, you as
gone.
well. Texas Rangers, there's some fireworks. Dallas is heading to the golf course. I hope he brings his knockaround sunglasses because he's going to be out there in the sun, probably driving some balls into the wooded area. Summer's in full swing. You need a pair of the greatest shades that you don't have to break the bank for. Knockaround sunglasses is the go-to for quality polarized shades that are super affordable. They look amazing. And when you go to the game, everyone knows who you're going to be repping. Plus, they just released the first 9 teams of their official MLB collection. Red Sox, Yankees, Dodgers, Mariners, Cardinals, Cubs, Giants, Padres, and the Astros that we're about to talk about, as well as official U.S. women's soccer team sunglasses, so you can add a little extra something to your game day outfit in time for this summer's big games. Don't be the person that's squinting into the sun or worried about getting sand on their overpriced sunglasses. Check out knockaround.com for great looking polarized shades starting at just $28. What a deal. Shout out to Knockaround. If you're a fan of one of those teams, go get you a pair. Really quick before we get out of here, I did want to bring up the Houston Astros and Texas Rangers, who just went head to head against each other in Houston, with the final game of this series being won by the Texas Rangers in convincing fashion. They kicked the shit out of the Astros to bump them down to 2 games back. I stand corrected, 2 games back. They're both playing good ball right now. The Astros are finally hitting their stride. The Rangers are, still the best run producing team in Major League Baseball. I know that, we talk about the Atlanta Braves lineup and all that, but the Texas Rangers have been the best run producing team in the big leagues this year. The lead is 2 games for the Texas Rangers over the Houston Astros. I tweeted out this morning that I would love to see this as a playoff series. This would be a very fun series. The fans would be into it. Like, Red Sox Yankees is all in the media creation. Like, there's no real beef there, but I feel like the fans could really get behind a Texas Rangers Houston Astros playoff series. There would be some bad blood out there.
Especially
Nah.
No, you're out.
Nah. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Nah. I don't like it.
Why?
I don't like the Texas teams going off against each other.
Why?
First of all, don't mess with Texas.
Okay, but Texas is messing with Texas.
Well,
Yeah, it's
Texas mess with
self-contained
Texas.
messing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that makes sense, really, logically. Because if Texas messes with Texas and we're messing with each other, I don't know how you could even win or lose.
Texas would win
And lose.
at some point. Texas would win.
Really?
Yeah,
Because
Texas would.
I honestly would give Houston the edge in that series, personally.
I want to see what they do at the deadline. I feel like I say that about a lot of teams, but I definitely want to see what
I want
Houston does.
to. I think it comes down to, I guess, who's healthy at that point. It's going to be a big difference. At Altuve, did Altuve play yesterday?
Yes.
Yesterday, as of yesterday, Jordan and Altuve are back.
So that's just a shot in the arm, Buster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I think it would be cool, especially because we're likely to get them battling each other, even if indirectly, down the stretch of the regular season. So it would be almost like it would be like a continuation of the drama. Also, did you know we've never gotten that postseason series?
Ever? Well, in fairness, the Astros were in the National League
Totally
for a while.
fair. A huge caveat to the point. But just wanted to put a pin on that. Never seen it before. So we would getting the benefit of the first ever Rangers Astros postseason series too.
That would be cool.
The Nolan Ryan
Is that
goal.
the most? There are a handful of interesting division races as of right now. Is that the most interesting? Is it Texas, Houston? Is it Milwaukee, Cincinnati? Is it LA versus the Giants and the D-backs? Is it Baltimore, Tampa? Like, there's a few. I'm not going to sit here and put Minnesota and Cleveland on your radar, but they are separated by 2 games and worth, I guess, mentioning.
I think it's got to be this one or the AL East.
Yeah.
Because I think, I don't know. I don't think the Rays engender much excitement among baseball fans, but I think the Orioles more than compensate for that. Yeah, I think we are potentially going to be very lucky as baseball fans this season, or very fortunate in that we could be getting 5 of the 6 divisions with real, genuine division races extending into, I get we're not even in August yet, but extending into August and maybe even September.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel, at least like on paper, that any of these divisions are going to really separate themselves. It's not like the Twins are that much better than the Guardians or the Orioles are that much better than the Rays, et cetera, et cetera. Like, these all feel like similarly talented teams, which we've talked about a lot on this podcast about the parity / mediocrity that exists specifically in the NL. But I think we're set up for what Major League Baseball wants, which is interesting races down the stretch between a bunch of tight teams.
Yeah, I think if there's one division that's capable of the first place team pulling away, it's the NL West. I mean, that's
with
no
LA,
shocker there. Yeah. I think that they could pull away, and by pull away, I mean win by like 8 games, not like 15 or whatever. Joseph, what in your mind is the most interesting division race as of right now?
I think Texas, Houston, because it is Texas on Texas. You got the freaking, I guess there was big beefs yesterday with people throwing at people's heads and shit. Like, if that continues, that's what I like to see. Houston getting healthy, it's going to make a big difference. And Texas is a team that I think kind of like the Orioles, like, we're like going into the season, not really the Orioles this season, but last season, like, no one really expected them to be that good. But then halfway through the year, we're now all just kind of considering them legit. We're buying, we're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But can they back it up? Are they better than the big bad Astros? Because, that's what I was thinking. I'm on record calling these Texas Rangers frauds.
You did say that.
I said, listen, I know you guys love the Rangers, but guess what? They kind of suck. They're just hot right now. But now, on July 27th, over time, I look at the Rangers and I'm like, okay, they're going to score a bunch of runs. Like, their offense seems a lot more legit. They've proved themselves for whatever reason. Do I have numbers to back that up? Not really. It's just the vibe.
It's just a vibe.
Well, it's just it's the players.
They got a rookie with 20 pumps.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's almost like they seem more legit to me, their lineup, than the Rays. I guess basically,
well, they are.
Yeah, I guess they are, because I said they are. But I mean, what are the Rays ranked in offense now?
And under what metric?
Like runs, because they were number 1 forever in every metric.
I mean, the Rangers have already scored over 600 runs.
Runs per game, Rangers 5.87, Dodgers 5.64, Braves 5.54, Rays 5.19.
Yeah. So the Rangers have like a lot of guys who are like performing better this year than they ever have in their career, but they also have Simeon and Seager. And I would even say like Adolis Garcia is a guy who like you think is gonna perform pretty much no matter what. If they have those three guys like doing that shit, like then the other fuckers, they don't all have to be beast level. If as long as 2 or 3 of them are clicking, like yeah, they're gonna continue to hit well. I guess the pitching is the biggest question.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the most interesting, I guess, like AL matchup? Like, what do you think would make the most interesting American League ALCS?
Oh, to be honest, it's going to be the Angels.
Yeah, I have my answer.
Do you think so?
Like, if the Angels are
What
in the
is it?
ALCS, that's pretty interesting.
100%.
I don't think it's realistic. But
Angels,
yeah, I would say
Orioles.
Angels. Yeah, I like
Angels,
That is the
Orioles.
best pure story for baseball as a whole, baseball fan. Yeah, no question. Because nobody really cares. Nobody wants to see the Astros, right? Throw them away. The Twins aren't no, seriously, the Twins aren't interesting
Yeah.
or particularly interesting or good, right? Same with the Guardians. We can put those guys aside. We've talked about the Yankees. I don't think anybody's super compelled by the Yankees or the Red Sox this year. We can put them aside. So you're left with the Orioles, the Rays, the Blue Jays, the Angels, and the Rangers. 5 teams. Orioles are, to me, the best. They have surpassed the Rangers as the best story of the season in the AL. And to Joey's point, if the Angels make the playoffs, it will be one of the most miraculous playoff pushes we have seen in any of our lifetimes. And presumably, Ohtani, and to a lesser extent, a returned Mike Trout, will have played a role in that. So, yeah, above and beyond whatever postseason series they would win to get there. So, yes, I would be all in on Angels Orioles. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I'll be honest. I am a sucker for the big market, so I'm like kind of guy. I'm kind of like I don't know, man. Put the Yankees in there just to blow it up. But I know I guess kind of a weak point. But
And they're boring. They're so fucking boring this year.
but the Yankees, baby.
I mean, normally
you know what
I'm
I'm saying.
normally
You-
I'm with
that's what I'm saying though.
sentiment,
Like,
but-
yeah, Yankees are pretty boring right now. But like, if the Yankees make the ALCS, they're not boring anymore. It's like, what the fuck? The Yankees are better than we thought. It kind of came out of nowhere. Remember 3 months ago when we thought they were terrible?
So to that point, you know what would be a compelling one is Yankees Angels. Because no. To Joey's point,
Yes, sir.
yeah, because you would have both teams needing to kind of turn around the narratives of their season to get there. You would also get a healthy, because they're not going to do it without this. So you would get a healthy Aaron Judge. You would get a fully operational Shohei Ohtani and a healthy Mike Trout in the same series. You'd have
Judge versus Ohtani.
Yeah, you'd have Ohtani's looming free agency. You'd have the MVP kind of renegotiation of 2022, plus Ohtani probably winning it in 23. I think there's merit to that, even if the Yankees are boring.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to get
I
behind
guess
that,
for the storyline, but then by game two, we would be like, shut the fuck up. We get it.
You would.
Judge is good. Shohei's good. We got it. Oh man, they would ram that down our throats.
Come on.
Oh,
If we got
let
Judge
me-
Ohtani, there's no amount of throat ramming that would wear me out. Okay?
Yeah.
I guess.
You sound like
clip that
fucking
on.
Mad Dog after the fucking WBC final, bro.
Well,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what?
Judge Ohtani.
You know what would happen if the Angels played the Yankees in the ALCS, and all the talk was about Judge and Ohtani, they would both suck, and Trout would hit like 438 with like a 1200 OPS.
That'd be
That's
sick.
what
That would be sick.
Can you imagine how cool it would be if all three of them played well in the same series, though?
that would be great.
It'd be a seminal moment for baseball, and I don't think that's an exaggeration.
Yeah, let's not put this into the universe though.
No,
not trying to
I'm
see
now
the Yankees
putting
in
it
the fucking
in there.
ALCS.
I put it.
No,
It's there. Wow.
Stop.
I feel it now.
stop.
It's in
No,
the ether.
it's not tangible.
The air's a little thicker.
Yeah, it's not. That's not what we want. All right. Any final thoughts today, gentlemen?
I feel like I have a final thought.
Please.
You came back from the All-Star break saying, Dallas's bad internet's behind us. You're having to leave early is behind us. We're going to
Yep.
hit our stride. I feel like we've been on fire.
Yep. We've been doing
Last
great.
2 weeks of the pod have been, I think, great. And you know what? I'm not talking
Yeah, I think
about
we've
just
been doing
myself. I'm
outstanding
talking about
job.
all of us.
Yeah.
So congrats.
Also, Dallas did leave early. I think
I think you can argue that makes us stronger. I think getting Dallas for 2/3 and just saying goodbye and just kind of letting the stars shine is maybe the formula.
I
agree.
Having Jake back helps. That was a disaster.
Yeah.
Oh, poor other guy.
Yeah, that was a rough go. But listen, Jake's back. He's out of the hospital. He's healthy. He's doing great. He's thriving. I think people really. I saw a lot of great feedback from our Adrian Beltre segment that happened on the back end of I think the last podcast. Yeah, I think anytime that Dallas leaves, we should have a built-in segment that we do when he's not.
We should do a segment once Dallas leaves where we cut each other off, like if Dallas was here.
Yeah. No, you go.
Jared, I think Jared thought that was
go
funny,
ahead.
but
Go
his
ahead.
computer froze. So just maybe throw in a laugh track or something, Jake.
No, my computer froze at the worst possible time. I was making fun of Dallas. Do you think,
so were we.
Do you think does my is it like Audacity where it's still gonna pick me up, Jake?
Yeah, everyone's gonna hear what you said. We just couldn't hear it.
Perfect. You guys, Joey and Jay, hey, you guys are gonna have to tune in to see what I said. It's crazy. Tune in, especially on the YouTube channel. Joseph, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I owe you $200.
Yeah, you do owe me $200.
So that's annoying. I feel like that's whack though. To just give you $200. I think I need to get a substitute, like a fucking jersey or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll pick a jersey. Yeah, I mean, I tried to donate $200 to you because the Red Sox already won the first game. We pretty much had it like a handwritten agreement. Like, all right, Red Sox Braves, we just split the series every single time. We just like, all right, you have one, I have one. You have one, I have one. The Red Sox got the win in the first game of the series, so I kind of just accepted your proposal as if I was just going to be donating $200 to you. But unfortunately, I won. I feel bad taking your money. I don't even want your money. But I might just pick out a jersey. I might go on like MLB Shop and pick out some sick jersey that I want.
Yes, do that. Well, your scumbag organization just went back on the deal overnight as soon as the bet went down. And I'm not saying you had anything to do with that. Sounds like you're saying you don't.
You know what it was? I'll tell you what it was. You made a deal with the Red Sox. You got beat by the Yellow Sox.
Fuck.
So, yeah. 21-4. 21-4, Jake. The Boston Red Sox, when they put on their yellow jerseys, they are 21-4. What's that winning percentage?
Do you have a yellow jersey? Pick that, dude. Oh, fuck.
I do have.
Well, you better pick something quick because I know what this is going to turn into. It's like the longer we go without me getting you something, it's like anytime anything happens, you owe me a jersey. You know, I don't want to be dealing with this over my head.
First of all, you're confusing me with Dallas. Dallas does that. I'm a good person. After we're done doing this podcast, I'm just going to go pick out something that is within that price range. That's what I'm going to do.
I mean, hey, maybe you just get 10 different hats.
I might, because I'm such a good guy, I might go on like the Baseball Hall of Fame website and pick out a Harold Baines jersey for Jay and have you with my $200 credit be sent to Justin Havens. I might do that.
Wow. Can't measure a heart that big.
No, you really can't.
That would be a very good idea, and that would also be an investment in the product of the podcast itself, and people would love it.
I agree.
Always thinking.
All right, so maybe I'll explore that. All right, Jake's takes.
Yeah, just been talking about how good the Braves are all year. Joey gassing them up, saying they're goated. Don't need to make any moves at the deadline. Got everyone locked up till 2050. Just wasn't really seeing it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. I'll be honest. Ozzy Albies hit a home run. That was about it. It's tough.
Well, I'm glad that our future left fielder or whatever position he plays, center fielder, whatever, DH, whatever, hit a home run for you guys. He's coming to us soon.
Maybe that's the clear path for Jarren Duran, who's one of the best hitters in baseball this year. So
I'm talking about Adam Duvall, but Diabetes Duvall.
It's too clear a path for Jarren Duran to play every day, especially against lefties. All right. Thank you for listening. Everyone, enjoy your weekend of baseball. We'll be back on Monday. Trade deadline eve. We'll have some more takes, reaction to what we can only assume will be even more trades to talk about over the weekend. We've got 3 days of no podcast. Don't miss us too much, but I guarantee you there'll be trades that happen Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll break all those down on Monday, including where we think some of the top names are going to go before the trade deadline on Tuesday. And then, of course, we'll be back on Wednesday to react to the whole full scope of the MLB trade deadline. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
We gon'